couple of years ago. Me and my roommate moved into a beautiful apartment in our junior year of college. Our parents made it extremely clear that two small females living alone together was not ideal for some of the cheaper, shady neighborhoods close to our college. And at a certain criteria we had to meet in order for... I just came back from my university. It's just a 20-minute drive in the car, but with shitty public transport. So, I'm a 23-year-old Italian male living in a not-so-small town in southern Italy.
Guys, this may have some bad language in there, or so to speak, cussing. So if you're not cool with that, or down with that, don't watch it.
Now, it's not the most secure town in the world. In fact, we have a long history of micro-criminality connected to local mafia. But if you're smart, you can keep yourself out of trouble. I need to explain my daily commute in context first, to make things better to understand. You can skip this if you want. Basically, I live in the old part of the town, as here it is common for every town to be built around its antique part, and some parts are beautiful and well kept, others not so much. You find good families and great folk sharing space with more pesky dudes. Doesn't help that the town's castle has been converted into a prison, but luckily only for minor offenders. Now, to the encounter itself. It happened just this January. I just came back from my university. It's just a 20-minute drive in the car, but with shitty public transport, it could take up to an hour or two to get home. And as I like to study in the library till it closes at 6:30 p.m., I usually come back home at 8 p.m. or later. I get greeted by my dog, and I take her for a walk around this part of town and the castle, since it's her favorite spot to meet other street dogs. So she was taking longer than usual to do her business, and I was freezing, since I was wearing lighter than I should. Plus, it was snowing, which is super rare, like super, and it was the first time Maya saw snow, so she was excited too. For that, I decided to walk back home and grab a jacket to better take the light of this occasion. And on my walk home, to cut shorter, I have to pass this abandoned building under construction. It's pretty shitty, has just the pillars and floors done, but a lot of kids used it to play and climb around. Now, as I walk there, I see this guy standing there. His back was facing me, still like a rock with his head facing up, to the first floor of this abandoned building. Dirty beanie hat, heavy winter jacket, and a tracker suit too wide for his build. And there he was, still. At first I froze too, but it wasn't an extraordinary encounter, since there are a lot of weird people around and I decided to pass on. But the first red alert light was on when I watched Maya, and her back fur raised and was looking this guy dead in the eye. She never did this. As we walk to him, she keeps this behavior, and as we were walking there, she emits a low-pitched growl. That makes this man turn around. I never ever saw his face around here, and if you aren't local, you really can't end up there if you didn't want to. And oh my god, his face was so creepy. Typical greasy hair and undone, 3-day beard. He extended his hand to Maya. "Hey, doggy, look how cute you are." Stupidly, that calmed me down a bit. Maybe he was just a mentally ill person walking around. I know some of them around here, and they all pretty much looked like him. But when he was trying to pet my dog, I hear something moving on the first floor's concrete. Thought it must have been a cat, but Maya would have already been jumping around trying to catch him. So I looked up and see this little girl, around 10 years old. She had only fear in her eyes, wide open, really desperate, and I'm not exaggerating this detail. She had a familiar face though, must have been one of the kids that played around this building. Now, she must have seen me walking my dog around, because as soon as she recognized me, she caught my eyes and tried to whisper, "Help," with her lips. After this, I turned my head around, and the creep is watching me now. I would like to say he had the usual creepy smile, but he didn't. He just had a very serious face, now looking dead in my eyes. I don't know what to do. I'm a 19-year-old tall guy, 6'2", I think, and kind of imposing, but I never fought anyone, and I'm a really peaceful guy. In a fraction of a second, this guy looks up again and says, "Come down, sweetie. We need to get home. The food will get cold." Yeah, sure, totally believable, 10 out of 10. "Who are you and what are you doing here?" I ask him. "I am her uncle, and I need to get her home to eat," he says with the most serious look. I was thinking what answer to use as an excuse to bring her down and get her to safety, and being the sarcastic bitchy type in this situation, I say, "That's strange because I'm her uncle. This doesn't add up." At this point, the little girl has the brilliance to lean off and say, "Hey uncle, can you help me get home? Mommy will get worried." Now, this guy didn't seem too threatening at the moment, just creepy. So I go under the building to take the little girl, and as I prepare to grab her, Maya first growls at him, then barks. Now, she usually has a really feminine high-pitched bark, but with this guy, it was really low-pitched and scared even me. To that, I turn around and see this guy with a hand behind his back, reaching for something. Oh shit, I think. I can't fight for shit hand to hand. If this guy has a knife, this would end up badly. He stops his reaching motion as the bark is now continuous, and in the heat of the moment, the little girl leaned off and I grabbed her with one arm, the other one keeping Maya at bay as a deterrent, and while she was descending, I asked if she had a phone. "No, I don't have it," she said that, and you could hear she was on the brink of crying. So as soon as she touched the ground, I unlocked my phone and gave it to her. She took the phone and immediately legged it. I should have been glad to do it, but my immediate thought was, if she did all of this to steal my phone, I will be deadly pissed. After all, it wouldn't have been unusual, but I basically asked her to take it, so it would be impossible, I think. Anyways, the girl is gone. I turn around and this dude has a fucking knife out. Not a pocket knife, one of those big-ass kitchen knives you use to cut bakery bread. And me being so careless in the kitchen, I know how damn sharp those things could be. So I decided to run away too, but Maya decided, nope, I want to stand here barking at him, and I couldn't manage to pull her away. She is almost 30 kilograms, but that was a grip too strong even for her. So we were there stalling, and this guy starts swinging the fucking knife in the air. I want to run, but if I leave my dog, I know she could end up really bad, and even if I managed to pull her, he could run after us. And there we were, him swinging the knife with empty eyes, my dog barking, and me shitting myself not knowing what to do. And to make things worse, my hands were freezing cold from not wearing gloves, and the grip on the leash was really starting to hurt. The one thing that still surprised me in that situation is the fact that I am absolutely sure that people around the block could hear that mess, but no one, not a single one, decided to take a look. Goddamn people. Anyways, after what seemed like a long time, but was probably less than 2 minutes, I hear footsteps coming from behind me, and from there a lot of people show up, probably her dad and some of her relatives, friends with a baseball bat. This is not going to end up well, I thought. As soon as the creep saw those men, he fucking threw the knife in my direction and started to run to me, trying to go in the street in my direction. I didn't even try to block him because I was still frozen by the knife undertow, but Maya bit his leg, ripping a piece of the tracksuit off. But the dude didn't even care and ran for his life, with some of the girl's supposed relatives behind him. He eventually managed to get them off, but the girl's father came to me. I thought to thank me, but instead he screamed, "Who the fuck was that guy, huh?" waving the bat around. I looked at the girl telling him to calm down, but he only got more pissed, until the girl ran up to him telling him that I helped her, and gave my phone back. After that, he calmed down and said he was sorry. He told me thanks for helping his daughter, and offered me some coffee back at his house. I politely refused and went home, deciding that it was already too much shit to put up with for the night, and slept it off. The next morning, the police were at my house to take my statement. The police officer managed to show me some photos of the guy, but nothing came out of it. He probably wasn't even from here. You could tell from his dialect accent. And that was the end of it. I surely did not do the best I could, but I'm still glad I could help that little girl. I don't know where she would be if me or someone else didn't show up. So, creepy uncle wannabe guy, let's not meet again.
I didn't say nothing for that whole entire story. That was kind of weird stuff. He just came up like, oh, well that's strange, I'm her uncle. Yeah, that was funny, guys. Well, guys, to be honest, I actually have a couple stories I will be able to tell you guys. And some videos if you want. Like, I'll probably put like a game on, and then I'll play the game, and then you guys can hear me tell the story. Or something. But if you want to hear my own personal scary stories, well, or encounter stories, just type in the comments, or even text me on Kick, or not Skype, Snapchat, or Musical.ly, even Instagram. Those will be in the description below. Sorry guys, I have it. My voice is just like, what the? Am I doing today? Well, anyways, yeah, as you can see, I was texting my friend decided to text me during the video, so you know, I kind of got caught up, but yeah. Anyways, guys, comment.
This incident happened last week.
Tell your friends.
I just finished up my summer classes, so now I have time to share this with you guys. Quick reference, I'm a 5'2", 105-pound female.